Morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Michelle is here on her favorite day of the week, Sunday. Well, all the days are becoming my favorite, but Sunday, for some reason, August 16th, 2026, on a Sunday. And so here I am, facing each other at these times in our lives that are crucial, important, and requires our attention. So I put out a video yesterday of the metaphor of I need to lose weight. And basically with that video, I was attempting to explain how we ruminate on individual factors of ourselves. Okay, what does all that mean? Meaning, for some reason, and I can't. I can put my finger on it, but it's really not for me to be concerned about. I need to lose weight because that's not my reality. I've had that experience maybe in my life because that's what I was told. That you need to be at a certain weight, you need to be at a certain this, you need to be at a certain that, you need to have this level of education, you need to have this level of this or that or the other. It's based around materialism. Okay, materialism. Because to tell yourself I need to lose weight, that's a materialistic conversation you're having with yourself. And it's not true. It's the point I'm attempting to make as well. But we turn individual factors of ourselves into major factors, and we dismiss or ignore or disregard the whole. We are a whole human being. We are a whole person. So being concerned about my weight is taking away my attention to other parts of the whole. Does that make sense? We are a whole person. We need to be focusing on the whole of who we are, what we are, and why we are. So, and that's why when you evolve your consciousness or develop your consciousness, that is what happens. You start to focus on the wholeness of who you are, not whether I'm at the right size or the right height, or I have the right amount of money in the bank, or I have the right amount of vehicles, the right amount of houses. It's this consumption with overindulgence, gluttony, a materialism. Okay, and losing weight will, if you want to put yourself into a financial bind, and I know a lot of people are in a financial bind, being concerned about their weight, losing weight. They won't admit it, and you don't have to. That it's between you and your consciousness to work this all out. No one has to know. Okay, because you're going to be buying clothes. You're going to be constantly needing to consume because you're concerned about whether or not you've lost weight or not. Now, don't be confusing and make this into a confusion when I talk about the balancedness of your health. Okay, the balancedness of your health is a wholeness. It's not about your weight. It's not about your stomach size. It's not about those type of things. If you focus on the wholeness of who you are, what you are, and why you are, your health will fall in line, your finances will fall in line, because that's the wholeness of who you are. You'll get the proper amount of food, the proper amount of rest. You have your proper necessities met, your basic necessities. Yeah, I'm just watching people kind of moving around. I'm just trying to figure out what this man is up to. I think I don't know what he's doing, but he's, I pay attention to my environment a lot to find out how people are moving, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. So if you see somebody, running as if they're afraid of something, pay attention to that. He didn't look like he was afraid, but it looks like he may have been running late or something, and he's attempting to get to the, who knows. But I pay attention to people, how they move, literally, figuratively, and metaphorically. But anyway, so that I need to lose weight metaphor is basically about everything in our lives. We go extreme about everything. We go extreme about little facets of who we are, what we are, and why we are. We'll spend all our time, like, oh God, the social media platform is if you are not clear and effective in your consciousness, and you are not grounded, you will develop a psychosis so quickly. And a psychosis can start minor, and then it becomes extreme. And that's how we are. Like we have, especially when it comes to consumption. Like you have these influencers who are doing nothing more, nothing less than trying to sell you something. Pay attention to that. They just want to sell you something, whether it's makeup, clothing, and they get consumed by that. Why? Because they either have bills they need to pay, and that's 99% of the time, or a lot of it is just greed, gluttony, hoarding, overconsumption, and so that becomes a rumination in itself, and it's because you focus on hoarding and da. So again, that metaphor, I need to lose weight, can apply to everything in our lives. Some may say I'm over. Some may say something about the fact that I talk about evolution of the consciousness. That's because evolution of the consciousness is a wholeness. Okay, evolution of the consciousness is a developing of the wholeness. That's why I focus on that. It's a wholeness. Okay. And again, you're going to be so fascinated, intrigued, when you realize that you can have permanent joy. You can have permanent peace, no matter what's going on around you. Like yesterday, I was doing something, and I mistakenly dropped a container with glass items in it. Glass items, mostly of stuff to drink, and I destroyed all of that. And those drinks were my favorite drinks. I destroyed it. So what I had to do is go and clean it up and let it be. And I was so amazed. I wasn't upset about it. I wasn't mad. I just said, oh, wow. And I just handled my business and went on with my day. And that is what happens when you develop your consciousness. You can handle anything. So listen to what I'm saying. When I'm telling you to evolve your consciousness, I'm telling you to evolve the wholeness of who you are, what you are, and why you are. Not what you look like. Because if you're paying attention to the mirror, like I said, I got a mirror right here. I'm changing every day. I see something different every day. Okay? That's the wholeness of who I am. I'm flowing along with the environment. I'm flowing along with nature. I'm flowing along with what's happening all around me. And that's how I know. That's how and because of that, because I'm developing myself properly, that's how I know something's going on with the trees. Something's going on with the plants. Something's going on with the mountains, the palm trees. I can physically, figuratively, metaphorically see that there is something going on. There is no delusion here. There's no hallucination, And when people are talking about hoaxes, that climate destruction is a hoax. Well, what's going on around the world? What's going on in the Pacific? Okay, what's going on in the Gulf? What's going on here, there, or everywhere? The Atlantic. What's going on in those places, in those regions? Okay, Mother Nature will always win, no matter what. Okay, Mother Nature will always win. And I said something too, I don't know, maybe I did or maybe I didn't. The biological woman is synonymous with planet Earth. Okay, accept that or not. There's so much going on the social media platform that I just observe it. I monitor it. Sometimes I'll interact. I know that I know that a lot of it is a bunch of bullshit and click and bait. That's all it is. These people are getting money in their in bank accounts. The more controversial, the more divisive, the more income. And we know that. Stop it. Snap out of it. And a lot of people are doing it because they are affiliates. They're just trying to sell you something. Whether it's an ideology or whether it's some makeup. It's all the same. But the biological woman is synonymous with planet Earth. Okay? Without the biological woman, societies, cultures, in general, do not exist. Will not exist. Okay? The planet cannot survive without biological women. Now, take that as you will. Argue about it as you will. All what's happening now on the social media platform is something that's magnified, that has been going on for decades. Biological black women and biological black men have gone back and forth for decades. All you have to do is watch some of these sitcoms that were on television back in the 60s, 70s. Back and forth. When I say back and forth, we're just arguing. And then before you know it, we're having a party. We're inviting friends over. That's what used to happen in our household. My mom and dad go back and forth, arguing. And then before you know it, we're having a neighborhood party and enjoying ourselves. So those of you that are consuming all your time into this social media platform, you are neglecting your wholeness. Okay, you are neglecting your wholeness, and you're going to suffer the consequences, which a lot of you are, and it's going to be a man-made, self-created dementia. Your thinking capacities are going to atrophy. You're gonna develop damage to your brain cells. I know there's a lot of scientific stuff going on out there, and it may be pseudo for all we know, that are talking about this brain injuries that are being suffered by athletes. I can guarantee you 90% of us possibly have that same type of condition, but most of our brains are not being studied by scientists. That would be too much anyway. That'd be overwhelming. Okay, a lot of this brain injury that they're talking about is nothing more, nothing less than atrophy of brain cells due to improper thinking. And when you're improperly thinking, you do improper things. Yes, football is a major catastrophic event, but billions of us are spectators in that type of sport. Enjoy it. Bet our lives on it. It's a commodity. It's not going anywhere unless something else replaces it. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Do yourself a favor. Do your own discernment. Okay, all because someone calls themselves a scientist, take that with a grain of salt, any more than someone who claims they have a doctorate. Okay, I told you life experiences will create will help you and allow you to become an expert, but nobody has to know that. No one has to know. Okay, just pay attention to what's going on on the social media platforms. Like I said, I get in there and engage sometimes. I know it's all clickbait. a lot of it is, trying to sell you an ideology. It's the religious tentacles and this and that and the other. It's all a group efforts to indoctrinate you, to keep you distracted. All these things. A lot of people know that, but they still spend almost 8 hours a day on the social media platforms. 8 hours a day or more on video games. Okay, so again, dive deeper into what I mean by I need to lose weight metaphor, and ask yourself, okay, and I need to lose weight metaphor applies to everything in your life. Some people will stay in the gym, even though it's beneficial to go into the gym, but some will spend 8 hours or more in the gym. So ask yourself, how long am I spending on these wholeness development activities? How long am I spending on them? Am I equally balancing myself throughout my wholeness? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right now. I'm gonna send peace and love on this beautiful. It turned out cool in the beginning. Now as I feel the heatness and coming through, but it's peace and love all over the stars and moon and mountains. It's about the wholeness of who you are. That is what it means to evolve your consciousness. Talk to you soon.